Pakistan's opposition has submitted a no-confidence vote against Prime Minister Imran Khan in Parliament in an attempt to depose Khan's administration over allegations that he mishandled the country's economy. The Pakistan Democratic Movement, an alliance of opposition MPs, has been attempting to entice Khan's coalition partners. Proposal will be debated in the House on Thursday and a vote will happen. Maroof Raza, consulting editor, Times Network. Maroof, good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Urban Debate on Mirror Now this evening. What do you make of the developments that have taken place in Pakistan? And what does it really mean for Imran Khan?
Well, on the face of it, it appears that Imran Khan's time is up because Imran Khan actually came in to the Prime Minister's chair very clearly with the support and blessings of the army. So when the army feels your time is up, it is often said that Pakistani prime ministers, at the end of their tenure, if they can get away with their life or not be hanged, in itself is a great achievement. So Imran, like a good sportsman, should know that the innings is probably coming to an end, and I'll tell you why. Because the army has begun to feel that the Imran Khan government has now become difficult for them to shield and protect the narrative that they are the right choice for Pakistan, partly because of public opinion, partly because Imran Khan has begun to step out of the mold that he was expected to operate in. Historically, Pakistan's army has chosen to have pliable prime ministers, particularly in the aftermath of the air crash of General Ziaul Haq. This has been noted clearly in Hussain Haqqani's book, Pakistan Between the Military and the Mosque. The second thing is that the army finds that when Imran Khan continues to be pressurized for economic mishandling, you see, Imran Khan always was amongst his batchmates, never regarded as the brightest of people. In school, he was called Im the Dim. So Imran Khan's basic understanding of how to turn the economy around was very limited. And the kind of people he tried to put in there came into criticism by the army and the hardline Islamists who felt they were not fitting into the Pakistani image projection and narrative. So now you have three people clamoring for the chair. One is Shahbaz Sharif, who is Nawaz Sharif's brother, and is not exactly can wash himself up of Sharif's legacy. The Sharif family has come into politics and become strong by the blessings of the government of Ziaul Haq and thereafter had enjoyed military patronage. The second is Bilawal Bhutto, who's actually Bilawal Zardari, but he's Bilawal Bhutto Zardari. And therefore, the people of Pakistan continue to think that he has some kind of a magic wand to turn Pakistan around, but his abilities are limited at best. And the third element are going to be those in Pakistani politics led by Maryam Nawaz, who Imran has not been very polite with his remarks about in the last 24 hours. And she represents the Nawaz Sharif elements. And Nawaz Sharif, as you know, is out of Pakistan, avoiding getting penalized for all his economic mishandling. So Pakistan's politicians are responsible for the mess Pakistan is in and the rope that they give to the army to come into power from time to time because they cease to function legitimately. And for Indians to look at Pakistanis from the Indian prism is a mistake. Pakistan, apart from its religious leanings, is a completely different creature in terms of the political equation that prevails there. There is no democracy worth the name out there. And it is all basically autocracy led by the army, which is the biggest political party and the financially most affluent political party. Nobody can turn Pakistan's economy around unless the army is put back into the barracks and held accountable. How can you turn a country's budget around when up to 70% is eaten up by the military and its allied establishment? How can you turn the country's economy around when not more than 1% of its population pays taxes? How can you turn the country around which has got used to American and now Chinese handouts because they are the easy way and they've trumped their nuclear card and get everybody to bail them out saying otherwise we'll blow the world up? So I think it's a mistake for us to assume Pakistan will ever be a stable democracy. And in fact, if you ask me, I'd like Pakistan to be unstable. Because as long as they're unstable, the army and the military will be occupied in trying to control all the political bigwigs there and not bother so much about creating mischief in India. Back to you, Hina.
Right. Right, but Maroof, you know, the opposition there, the opposition parties in Pakistan are quite confident that they'll be able to get the support of about 172 members in the House of 342 odd members to dislodge Imran Khan's government. But the question is, will eventually Imran Khan lose the wicket? Because the political temperature we know has been increasing for quite some time now. We know about the financial health of Pakistan, how it started deteriorating actually long back, and nothing really was done to, bring it back on its foot. So what does it really mean for India? Do you think a change in the government, or if Imran Khan loses his wicket, India can really hope for things improving?
Well, any improvement with India-Pakistan ties will come with the blessings of the men in khaki at Rawalpindi. If you look back at the arrangements between India and Pakistan that have held the test of time, there have been all deals that have been signed by military officers or military officers pretending to be political leaders with India. So as long as a general has signed a document, I'm talking of the Karachi Agreement, I'm talking of the ceasefire line, I'm talking of the LOC, I'm talking of the Indus Waters Treaty, I'm talking even of the recent so-called ceasefire on the LOC, all have been signed by the blessings of the military. And if a general signs a document, the other generals respect it. If politicians sign a document, it doesn't have much of a lifespan. So my objective assessment is that if we want things to move better with Pakistan, we have to find leverages to get Pakistan's military to be disciplined. And the only country that still enjoys a certain amount of leverage other than China is the United States. But the United States, unfortunately, wants India completely in its camp. It's always pushing us, like Mr. Biden most recently, to say, India is shaky about its decision. How come the US has been not any better in its decision-making when it comes to Pakistan?
Right.
It's a state that sponsors terrorism. It's a state that controls a whole lot of jihadi groups even now. It is a state that is in terror funding. It's in the drug racket coming from Afghanistan. So America has to, for a start, make it difficult for Pakistan's generals and their family members to have green cards and enjoy benefits of going to America. They wouldn't like to go for holidays and education to China, at least not yet. So if America can exercise that leverage and get over its blind spot on Pakistan, then we are looking at some pressure on Pakistan on our own. We can refuse to talk with them, but we can't exercise pressure on them beyond a point.